was recently at a Firewood show. I was at the Paul Bunyan show and I was at the Boonville show. And I also go to some other shows and events where there's firewood people. And there has been two different young fellas that I talk to at these events that are getting into the firewood industry. And two of them asked me the same question. And I thought it was a great question, something to bring up to talk about with you guys. Both of them asked me this. Yeah, I'm just getting started in firewood. And I just wanted to know, if you had to start all over, what would you have done different? That's something I got to think about. And I have an answer. Number one, I would have started way sooner. I would have started cutting wood to sell when I was like 18. That would have been awesome. I should have started long time ago because there were a lot of years there that I cut wood just to burn for myself, and I enjoyed it and I liked it and I had access to wood, and I could have been selling wood for decades longer than I have. I've only been selling wood now for about 15 years, 14, 15, something like that. When I started, I had a bunch of extra wood that I had cut on a buddy's land because I had access to it. He had a bunch of dead oak. He has oak wilt on his property. So I was cutting the stuff as it died, fell over, and I just kept collecting more and more and more because I had a fire pit in the backyard. I had a fireplace, and when we would go camping, we'd burn wood. And I got a lot of wood, and my wife said to me, what are you going to do with all that wood? Because at the time, I probably had 40 face cords, so I had 13 full cords, something like that. And it was a lot of wood because I was only going through maybe 2 full cords a year myself. So I had years worth of wood for myself. I thought, maybe I'll sell some. So I put an ad on Craigslist, and in 2 weeks it was gone. And I thought, wow, that was cool. I got some cash. It was a pretty good deal. Next year I'm gonna do that again. Well, the next year I doubled. The next year after that I doubled. And I kept doubling until now I do about 200 full cords a year. And the only regret that I have is I didn't start sooner. I wish I would have started years ago because I would have had that extra income for decades that I was missing out on. And I love doing it besides that. I think I would have started a lot sooner. That's the number one thing that I would do. I enjoy doing it. The more wood that I cut, the more equipment I get that's fun to run. I have a blast. I love being outside. I always say the worst day outside is better than the best day inside. And cutting firewood allows me to be outside, to get the exercise, and then obviously to make some extra money. Now, I cut about 200 full cords of wood a year now. And I've been doing that for quite a while. And I sell it for $360 a full cord. So if you do some math, you can figure it out. Plus there's delivery fees, plus there's stacking fees, plus there's tips on top of that. So I do pretty good. And that's not all income. There are expenses. Most of the money that I have made, I have stuck into. It paid for both my trucks that I bought brand new, it paid for my tractor, chainsaws, dump trailers, splitters, all the stuff that it takes to produce firewood. Paid for fuel, the gas, all the wear and tear stuff, all the consumables, chains, bars, oil, all the stuff that it takes to make firewood is paid for all that. Buying the truckloads. On an annual basis, I buy at least 10, 12, 13 truckloads of wood. And they range in price from $1,200 to $1,500 per load. And then I cut it, split it, dry it, and then sell it. So there's a lot of expenses, but there's also some pretty good income doing something I enjoy to do. So the number one thing was I would have started much earlier. Decades of additional exercise, which is one of the reasons I do this, is I love the exercise. I need more exercise, not less. I'm not the person that's looking for a chair most of the time. I'm usually the person looking for what is there to do? What can I do? My kids always tell me that I'm good at a family function for about 10 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, we should do something. Is there something we can do? I always like projects. I like working. I like getting stuff done. I like being active. The sooner I would have started would have been better. The next thing that ties right in with that is cut wood now. Now, firewood is money in a bank. And you've got to start as soon as possible because you can't just make it and sell it the same day. Yes, you can if you're selling it to people that are buying a year or two in advance and they're buying wood for heating and they're stocking up. Yeah, then you can do it. But most of my customers, they want wood for a fire tonight. They don't want to sit on the wood and have it dry and take forever. They want a fire now. So you've got to look at it as an investment. Just like when you put money into an investment, whether it's mutual funds, stocks, bonds, whatever it is you do with your money to make money, that is what firewood is. It's an investment for me. And it should be for you too if you're into firewood. Whether you're doing it to sell or for yourself. Start cutting now because it's not going to go bad. This stuff keeps for years. Some people say it has a shelf life. No, it doesn't. You keep it dry. If you keep it covered so it doesn't start rotting on you, wood is good for a very long time, especially if it's something like locust or oak. The higher quality woods, they last a very long time. The example I give to people all the time is, what in your house is made of wood? Do you have chairs, tables, cupboards, bed frames, dressers, coffee tables, the walls in your home, the doors in your home, the trim in your house? Do you think if you were to take that out and burn it, it would burn? And how old is it? If you take a house that's 100 years old, all the wood that's in there, do you think it would burn? Heck yeah. You know why? It's covered. It's dry. It's out of the elements. If you keep the wood dry, it'll last a very long time. So start cutting wood now. A lot of people have said this. I've heard this lots of times. A little bit every day goes a long way. If you can cut a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, a little bit the next day, all of a sudden you got a lot of wood. It all adds up. You don't have to wait for the perfect weekend once a month to go out and work 2 16-hour days back to back making wood. There's nothing wrong with that if you want to do that. But if you could work for an hour or 2 or 3 a day, just do a little bit every day, and if you take a day off once in a while, fine, but then get back to it. Again, it's an investment. No more different than lifting weights. If you're a weightlifter and you want to stay strong, build your muscles, or if you're a runner, you want to build your endurance, every day. Yes, maybe take a day off here and there, but every day. Kind of like your diet. If you want to have good health and not get fat like I've been getting because I eat too much, because I have a seafood diet, if I see food, I eat it. I want to stay kind of close to the size I was when I graduated high school. When I graduated high school, I weighed 175 pounds. I weigh 185 pounds now. I'm 10 pounds overweight. I need to lose 10, maybe even 15 pounds. It's one of those things that's one of the reasons why I do Firewood. I want to continue exercising as much as possible. Not to wear my parts out. You know, I don't want to wear my shoulder out or my elbows or my back. But when I start to get tired, it starts to hurt, I quit. I stretch, take a day off maybe, and then get back to it. The more you move, the better you're going to feel. If you sit around, you're not going to feel so good. I always say the most dangerous piece of equipment in every home is a chair. The next thing I would do is I would cut more different kinds of wood. When I first started, all I had was oak because that's what I had access to. Knowing what I know now, I would have gone to a logger and I would have bought some cherry. I would have bought some locust. I would have bought some hickory. I would have got white oak. I would have got some beech. I would have got some hard maple. I would have got maybe a mixture of wood so I could do mixed hardwoods. All I had was oak in the beginning. That's all I had. That's what I had access to. It was free, so that's what I cut. But knowing what I know now, I would have bought truckloads of other kinds of wood that I did not have access to in any kind of volume. Another thing is that I would not be a wood snob. A lot of you, yes you, I know there's a lot of wood snobs out there. And what that means is they will only burn oak because it's the best. And there's nothing wrong with oak. It's good wood, but it's not the best wood. There's a lot of woods that are lower grade woods that I sell a lot of. And people burn it outside in their fire pits and they pay me money for it. One year, I had access to cottonwood and box elder. I had free on a farm. I could cut as much as I want. I cut between 50 and 60 full cords of cottonwood and box elder one year. And you know what? I sold all of it for $110 a face cord, a third of a cord. So a full cord, $330. I sold it all. People loved it. It burned great. And some people say, oh, it's trash wood. It's no good. Well, no, it's good wood. It's not great wood. It's not terrible wood. It puts out heat in a fireplace or a fire pit or for camping. It's just fine. Like pine. Pine is fine also. I sell a lot of pine. I could probably sell a lot more than I do if I advertise for it. I know that I have friends of mine that are in Maine. They sell a lot of pine, truckloads of pine every year because it's the wood that people use for camping. That's probably number 3. Don't be a wood snob. So number 1, start now. Cut more. Number 2, cut every day. Number 3, don't be a wood snob. So there you go. Those are the 3 things that I would give as a recommendation for if you're starting to cut firewood, whether it's just for yourself for use or whether you're doing it that you're going to sell it. Or if you think you might sell it. If you even think you're going to sell firewood, like it's a possibility that maybe you'd try it, I think you'd be very surprised. I have people on my channel all the time that comment to me that, yeah, I've been cutting wood for myself and heating with it for the last 20 years, and now I'm getting to the age now where I want to get more exercise, or I'm retired, or I've got access to more wood, and I decided that maybe I'm going to sell some wood. So I cut a little bit more, and these guys have all told me the same thing. They sold out immediately. They had no clue that there was going to be the demand that there was for the wood they produced. And they're like, well, I got to cut more wood next year because it all sold. It sold fast. It sold easy. And the reason is most people, I'm not talking people that heat with wood. I'm not talking about people that have boilers or wood stoves. I'm talking about the average person that lives in a residential area, the suburbs. They don't have a chainsaw. They don't have a truck. They don't have woods to go cut in. But they enjoy fires in their backyard or their fire pit or their fireplace, or they go camping. And they don't have access to wood. They will pay money to you to go cut wood, to supply it to them, and to deliver it to them. Because they don't have the talent, the resources, the ability, or the time. But you know what they have? They have money, and they will give it to you in exchange for services. It's kind of how commerce works. People supply you with something you can't do. I always use the example of dentistry. I could fix my own teeth. I could take a drill and I could drill out my cavities and I could probably patch it somehow. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hire the professional, the guy that knows what he's doing. Same as firewood. Yes, there's people that can do it themselves. Yes, you can do it yourself. You're not everybody. There's a lot of people that are willing to pay for a product and a service that they can't get, don't want to get, don't want to take the time to get, don't want to buy the equipment. There's a lot of people like you and me that are what I would call do-it-yourselfers, that we enjoy doing stuff, learning something new and developing a skill or a talent. But then there's a lot of people like, no, I want to watch sports. I want to go golfing. I want to go on vacations. Let's hire that guy to cut the wood for me. I have several people that I sell to that have a cottage and a cabin and a house. And I supply wood to all three of their properties. I have several people that have two houses, several people that have a house and 2 or 3 rental properties, and I supply firewood for all their places because they don't have time to do it. But they want wood there for the people that do the Airbnb or rent their house or the renters that are there all the time. They want to supply the wood for them. There is a market for it. So there you go. Those are the things I would do if I was to start all over. Get busy, cut more wood. That's all I got for today, folks. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. If you want to learn more about firewood or you're interested in it, I got over 2,000 videos on my channel. Otherwise, tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. I'll be back. Good night, everyone.